7 years ago, disaster struck Palm Island. The most powerful hurricane for centuries tore apart what was a sleepy island community. The damage was unrepairable. The local government had a choice: leave the island in ruins or list the island for sale. Initially, an international construction company bought the island. They did years of clearance work, putting the island back into condition for redevelopment. But before they finished, prices skyrocketed, leading them to bankruptcy and listing the island for a discounted price. A handsome developer from Britain saw the island for sale. He sold all his shares in Tesco's for cash and bought the island. You've probably guessed it. That handsome developer is me, Nebman, the founder of Nebman Industries. My vision is simple: build an island the whole world will talk about. Luxury resorts, beachside villas, breathtaking architecture, and so much more. Welcome to Palm Island. It's time to begin construction. Well, here we are. What you weren't expecting, but you knew you wanted. Here we are on our brand new island. And it looks fantastic. If we just have a look at this island, it is beautiful. Plenty of fantastic places to build, so much room for activities and all that much more. I'm really excited for this one. It actually looks a bit like a seahorse as well, so maybe we should call it Seahorse Island. But moving on, this is a brand new series where we're going to be developing this island. It's a much smaller map compared to what we used to, which is kind of why it's a little bit more special, because we can take the time and add details in where we want it. It's very nice and tropical, so expect loads of nice beaches, water, there's loads of water, and much more stuff. So my vision for the island, I'll zoom out and show you. It's annoying that this rendering is so poor, but my initial plan is this area will kind of be like the main city, the main downtown bit. This will be a beautiful gold and white sand beach. Maybe we'll have some sort of boats terminal here, something like that. And then we've got loads of room out the back where we could have maybe a luxury hotel resort over here. We've still got some old farms knocking about there. Maybe some housing, more housing, stuff like that. There's so much room for activities, and there's so much like extra little things as well, like the nice winding roads and the railway line. All the way at the end you probably saw it, but we've got this very cute little house at the top. But we could redevelop this area into something really unique. So yeah, I'm excited for this. It's going to be cool. It's going to be super cool. Got space here to build a hotel or something. There's so much to do. But first things first, obviously this is an island, and we're going to struggle to start our construction without some sort of way to get people to said island. So we're going to be basically going backwards from what people normally do. They start off with a few little houses here and there, get 3 people living here, and it's all very merry. What we're going to do is we're going to put down some ways and means to get to the island. And the first thing that we're going to do is actually an airport. What? An airport? The first thing you're going to do is an airport. Where are you even going to put an airport? Well, that's it. As this is a small island, we only need a small airport. But without an airport, how are we going to fly all of our construction materials in? How are we going to fly our construction workers in? And all that good stuff. So, as much as it seems ridiculous, it is quite important. So we're going to start off with an airport. Now, I had 2 places in mind. The first one was here, which is currently my favourite place to have it, because it's not too far from the city. It's a nice straight portion, and you can get the planes flying out over the sea, which is pretty cool. And if you have it facing this way, you're not going to collide with the mountains, because that would be a big boo-boo for our brand new island. The second spot was here, a little bit further away out of town, which is it's not a problem really. Again, have it horizontal so that you don't collide with mountains, because that's never good. So yeah, those are the 2 kind of ideas, and you're probably thinking you're never going to fit an airport in there. Well, Luckily, we have a rural airport, which is actually only about this big, so it might actually work. So I'm in two minds, because this would be quite a good location because it is out the way and we're not going to use valuable space. But also, I think this is quite a nice little area as well. So maybe we could kind of leave this part somewhat open for a nice town. And then we can have this airport here. Still have a little town here, but if you go to these sort of Caribbean islands, you'll see that the airport is basically slap in the middle of a town anyway. So it's not going to be too weird, and it's not a big airport either. So yeah, I think we're going to go with this area. So the idea will be, this will be the main city. We're going to have a couple of towns. We'll name them. We'll district them up. Town. Probably a small little village up here. This is probably going to be its own little town. But we will end up using basically all of the space that we've got available. So yeah, exciting. But let's start off with our very first airport, shall we? So we're going to... we probably want a bigger road, aren't we, really, if we're going to put down an airport. What I'll do is I'm going to find a nice similar road to this, and we're going to upgrade this road, because that is quite a key road if we're going to have airport traffic coming in. Right, so I've done a road upgrade. Now I'm just trying to do some terraforming to kind of give us a nice sort of area for our airport. So I'm just trying to tidy it up just a little bit. It's never going to be perfect, but we'll do our best for the time being. So we're just trying to smooth that out. This is basically a rural highway, but it's also zonable. So it looks like it should be a road that's around here, and it's also it looks like a highway, but you can zone on it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that road has been upgraded. We've smoothed down the descent slightly, so it looks a little bit better. And the next thing we need to do is just place down this airport and see how we go. So we want Anarchy on, and we're going to have to... Right, before you throw up in your own mouth when I placed it, I'm going to give you a warning. How it looks when I place it, it's not how it looks once we're done with it. So before you throw up in your mouth, I'll just give you a warning. Swallow it back down. It's going to be fine. You see what I mean, boys and girls? You see what I mean? But this is a very small rural airport, and my gosh, doesn't it look beautiful? Say yes, please say yes. Anyway, yeah, that's our airport. Before we do anything, I'm going to pause the game so that we don't start wasting away all of our Tesco shares that we've brought over with us. And yeah, so this is where we're going to have our airport. Actually, because it's so small, it doesn't overpower everything else, which is also great to see. But we're going to try and steal some power from our external connections, because we don't have a way to generate power or water just yet. Okay, we've successfully stolen power from our neighbours. Obviously we're going to pay a pretty price for it, but needs must. If you're wondering how I've done it, we've got a transformer station right at the top of this little hill here, just kind of tucked away, looking very, very useful, and that basically goes all the way out to the outside border. But back to what we're actually doing. This is our airport. Doesn't it look pretty? Not. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be decorating this airport first things first with some airport decals, so that it actually looks a bit airporty. Airporty? You get the gist. There's all sorts of airport stuff here, and we're going to create this runway into a runway. Now, we're all friends here, but when I say that I don't know how airports work, I'm not joking. So we're just going to kind of go with the flow here and kind of pray that what we're doing might look like a runway at the end of it. And I think there's a certain way that you need to place these down. So we're going to try that and just kind of hope and pray that we will have an airport by the end of it. We just need to try and align these though so that they don't look completely bizarre. So from my understanding, the R stands for runway, and then you basically add like a number next to it, which kind of identifies what number runway this is. And for us, it's going to be, well, it's going to be 0, 1. I assume that also kind of identifies it towards the pilots as well. So yeah, so that goes in there and that goes in there. This is definitely the weirdest way that I've started the series before, but here we are, having a great time. No one can stop us. Right, next. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that I did a really good job, and that's exactly how runways are meant to look, because as far as I'm aware, that'll do. It looks like a runway to me. We've obviously got to do the taxi lanes and stuff like that as well, but it already makes it look more like a little airport. Once we throw in loads of decals and stuff over the top of this weird concrete surface, I have no doubts that it'll look the part, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, it looks better than it did before. We've basically just put decals over the top of the concrete so that it looks a little bit more used. Wear and tear is the words I will use. And yeah, it looks a lot more like an airport, especially from the top now, instead of that just slab of concrete, even though this is still a slab of concrete with a few decorations on it. We're gonna probably try and find maybe a little static ploppable that we could put over the top of here, just to give it more of like an airport terminal sort of look. So we might have a little look through and see if we can find even something like that. Will probably do, because then there's actually room for people to chill out and sit in, if you know what I mean. But we'll have a browse through the static ploppable, see what we can kind of pick, and then kind of go from there, and we'll just see what works best as our potential airport terminal. I would say that is a slightly better airport terminal. It's definitely got a bit more size to it, enough for some of the larger planes coming in. Definitely not large, but larger. So that kind of does that job. I'm tempted to add, I saw I think it was the reach stacker warehouse, which we might be able to use as like a pretend, like this, like a pretend plane warehouse or similar. We could potentially, because they're decent sized shutters there, although the plane wings would never fit in, but if we just kind of added it somewhere around here, it might make it look like at least there's some sort of building. Maybe if we added it up this end, we might be able to get away with some sort of building being down here. Maybe just place it like that. Let me just see what that looks like. It could work. Maybe we'll keep it for now. We'll do some adjustments, and maybe we could actually copy that and place that there, and then they somewhat matchy a little bit, potentially. We'll figure that out in a bit, I think. So down by our little terminal thing that I placed down, I've just filled this bit in with some concrete and then put a fence around the perimeter. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and have a couple of planes chill in here, just to give it a little bit more airport vibes. But I just need to figure out... Oh yeah, I should actually have loads of planes, shouldn't I? There we go. So I'm just thinking of maybe like having a couple of planes down here. We've got American, we've got EasyJet planes. What's this one? Spirit Airlines. That's a normal big plane. I don't think we're going to fit any A380s in here, I'm not going to lie. What's an Emirates A380? That's pretty dense, but again, I think that's going to be too big for our baby airport. Virgin Atlantic, pretty cool. We could probably fit in a couple of jets, like private jets, or these small little propeller ones. That would probably work as well. I feel like we could probably get a couple of small propeller ones around this edge here. Maybe kind of like that. What's this one? Ah, these are quite small and cool. Maybe we'll grab one of those and one of those. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll see if we can add one of these private jet style ones, which were, I think it was this one, wasn't it? Maybe we could try to add one of those here. Kind of like that. That's pretty cool. We could probably get another one in. Something like that. It just makes it look a little bit more airporty, doesn't it? Unless we want to change that for a slightly larger one. Or just a different one. Let's change it for a different one. We don't want to duplicate too much. We'll go with this one. Then we got two different styles there, don't we? We got, yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Got those little ones there. That's also pretty cool. Makes it feel a bit more airporty, which we obviously like to see. I might see if we can add a few other decals maybe underneath here or similar. Just to give it a little bit more vibes going on. So we don't want it to look too new and amazing, do we? We'll just spam those down. That's okay. Cool. And I'm wondering where we could potentially put down... I mean, we could probably fit a couple of smaller planes coming out here, couldn't we? So what decals will we use? So if we just did 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll have one more. And then we might be able to fit maybe one big plane. Bigger plane, not a big plane. I mean, that's a big plane, isn't it? So it's that. That's far too dense. Or we just have a few of these smaller ones plotted up around the edge here. Just so that it looks a little bit busier. And do we have... How large are you? Do we could do that, or do you think that's a bit stupid? I think that'll look a bit silly if it's pointing towards those ones, I think. So maybe we'll just have these as very small little ones, I reckon. Small little ones are the way forward. So grab a couple more of these. We'll just put 2 there, and maybe we'll just grab one of these and park it here. With a couple of props there. And then we just need to get a fence around that to make it look a little bit more secure. Okay, let's have a little look at our airport then. So we've obviously got, this is the main terminal building, which we've still got lots to do on the outside of that terminal building. But looks pretty good. From the top, we're looking all right. It looks more like a airport now, definitely. And it's a good sort of size as well. I'm really happy with it not being too large, which is really good. So let's go and have a look from the runway perspective then. We'll start off at the terminal. We've got a couple of buses here, which will take the people to the planes, which is cool. Lots of plane tow things and baggage things knocking about everywhere. We've got our pretend radio air traffic control tower. We've got our emergency fire department response, which looks pretty cool in their own little building. We've got our 2 jets here, labelled with their own sort of like taxi stands. Taxi stand? Yeah, it is taxi stands. Don't know what those things on the surface mean, but I've placed them down because they look quite cool. We've labelled all of the parking spaces 9, 10, 11. One is down the other end with some more stuff down there. Fencing all the way around the outside, which is cool. We'll get rid of those bushes, I think. And then down here, we've just got a few more planes just chilling over here in their designated bays, which again looks super cool. Really, really like the way that this airport has come together. Good sort of size, nice colour to it. Yeah, happy with that. Really happy with that. So obviously that's kind of the inside of the airport done. We don't want it too crazy, obviously, because it's a small place. But we need to do something on the outside so that people can actually get around. Otherwise, they're just going to be stuck. When they land, they'll just walk out onto the street and be like, "Hi, I'm lost." And we don't want them to be lost. So let's work on that. So I built a lovely parking lot out the front here. And then I realised that we could have just done it much easier with this kind of parking alley thing. So I'm actually I'm going to get rid of the ones that I've done, because it was very much a self-made one, which I'll show you now by all the little things that I'm deleting. It was very much a I'm just going to do what I want and build what I want kind of thing. But with these parking roads, it should function much better, hopefully. So we're going to try our very best and utilise these out there. And then we're going to... Ooh. How are we going to do this then, son? Do that. That looks stupid, but here we are. Like that and like that. But ideally, if we could... I don't know if I like that, you know. Do we want them at an angle or not really? Or do we just want it like that? I think that will be slightly nicer. We could change those roads to make it look like that. We could use the one way, but the problem is people park on the one way, which is really annoying. And it's the first person I see parking on that one way, I'll just kick off, and I know that I will. So, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do it. That's fine. We'll do it. Is that facing the right way? I think it is. Let's just double check. Yeah, that is facing the right way, which is good. So that can be our new parking area. And we can just decorate that kind of how we were doing beforehand, with some nice surfaces and stuff like that, just to make it look a little bit nice, because this is the entry point for people that are coming into our beautiful island for the first time. So we want it to look somewhat presentable. So yeah, we're gonna make it look as nice as we can. How nice that's going to be is a different question, but here we are having a great time, so don't worry about it. So nothing like a few palm trees. It feels like it's been a while since I placed palm trees down with all my UK builds, but there we have it. Don't worry, Kingsmere will still continue. It's just giving me something else to occupy my time, so we're going to do this first. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Is that too much tree? Probably is too much tree. And that says P parking one way. Cool, that looks pretty good. Pretty good to me. Yeah, not bad. It looks better than it did look beforehand, I'll tell you that much. I might just add some like bushes or something here, because we don't really need much, unless we want to do that parking, but this way, just to give us utilize as much space as we can. Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. We will do that. In fact, do I want to? Can I just change that to that? Because then people are like guaranteed not to park on it, are they? Yeah, I think that looks alright. I'm not sure about these palm trees though. I might get rid of these palm trees out the front here. I don't really like the way that they're blocking it off. Also, because I'm a sucker for symmetry, we're going to do some changes again here. So we're going to have that. Oh, decisions, right. Can we actually destroy this now that we've placed it? That is a road, isn't it? Why won't you let me kill you? Oh man, disaster, disaster, disaster. What? Yo, what are you doing? What am I even moving? Is it oh, the airport? Well, that's no good. I want to move the road, please. Now will it let me destroy it? Must do. Ah, there we go. There's always a way. There we go. Right, so we want alright, that to go up here. That should be right in the middle, although it doesn't look like it right now. That should be perfectly aligned in the middle. And then let's do that, that, and do that to that. In theory, they should be even now. Yeah, they look even. Good, and then we can make it look nice now that we've evened it up a little bit. It's worth just taking those extra few minutes to change these details, because if we don't do it, we'll look at it in the long run and be like, ah, we've got to change that and make it look a little bit nicer, because it doesn't look very nice at the moment. Alright, makes sense? Cool, thank you. That looks much better now. As you can see, we've just added a few details, and yeah, I think that looks so much better than it did before, so happy with that result. The airport's looking really nice, actually. I do like the way that it looks. Pretty good, pretty good. I don't want to go too overboard on any parking here, because I don't want, well, I just don't want it to be really busy. Although it might end up being really busy, it's not, I don't need to slap down loads of parking. I might rename this to terminal parking. Like that. Terminal parking. Pretty good. I don't know why these are really annoying. I don't really want them. Could you get rid of road names? Probably not. I think this is the best I can do. Just invisibling them with a comma. That'll do. But how's that looking? That's looking pretty cool. Pretty nice. Obviously we've got lots to do here. We've got this bus stuff that we need to sort of try and set up. I say set up, we're not setting it up yet at all because we've got nowhere to run buses to, but kind of around this area. I'm not sure what we're going to put yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm just in the process of expanding this area with anything that we kind of think of that doesn't look too bad. Before I carry on with that, I'll just show you that I've added a small fire station just on basically the edge of the highway here. It's a decent sort of area straight onto this main road, which basically goes the whole length of the island. So to cover this sort of section, that's a decent sort of fire station, good size, kind of blends in with the scenery pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that, and that'll be fine. Down here we've added a compact bus depot so that we actually have some buses running when we need it. And we've got a RZ Cities Plaza here as well, which looks pretty cool. Which is a nice sort of addition for us to have to kind of make our area just look that little bit nicer. And I'm just thinking of how we're going to expand this down to the road. I'm wondering if there's like a small taxi stand or something. There isn't really. They're all kind of like taxi huts. Well, it would have been helpful if we could have put like a small taxi stand in that area, but I guess we can't always get what we want. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to expand these surfaces down a little bit, create some pathways and stuff like that, kind of link it up, and maybe it'll look okay, hopefully. Like if we just basically just map out a few paths, something like that should be absolutely fine, just to kind of link it up to the road a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. I'm thinking, I don't really know, maybe we could just have a nice central section here, just a thin walkway, something like that will probably be okay. I think that's alright. And I'm tempted to manicure the grass that's in here. I know a lot of people hate this manicure grass, but I think us doing this just makes it look that little bit more nice, and for the people that are visiting, they're going to be like, oh, they've made some extra effort here, this is pretty cool, eh? And maybe they'll be like, it's first impressions, you know? You don't want the first impression to be walking off to a scruffy little area, do you? So we'll try our very best to make it look as good as we can, and hopefully people get off the plane and be like, wow, this is so pretty, when in reality it's just manicured grass. You might notice by the way that this is looking that I'm trying to mess around with kind of getting a train station in here somewhere. I'm not having much luck at the moment, I'll be honest, but we're going to keep on rattling through and see what we can kind of come up with. We need to create some clear space for us, because we're not achieving much by trying to place over these trees. So we're just going to clear a little bit of way, just like that. That's probably enough. And then the next thing we want to do, I want to try and get it this same height. Which this all sounds very bizarre, I can imagine. But if you just trust the process, we might be in for a bit of a treat. So I'm just going to kind of do this for the time being. Just raise that terrain up quite nicely, like that sort of size. Like that, around the edge of that one as well. Okay. And we could just use this train station here. And what we'll do is we'll have that basically put back about here, I reckon. I know it sounds crazy, just don't worry, it should hopefully all come together. And then we want to hook, it's so hard just to find a normal train track now with all these packs. We'll obviously need this connected up, which doesn't cause any problems as far as I can tell. And then we basically want a railway line to run alongside here. In order to do that, it's going to be raised, so probably about this sort of height, kind of like that. And we want to try and curve it into here, if we are allowed. And then that one can hook up with this main line. And then our airport will be connected to, well, everywhere, really, which is kind of ideal for an airport. So we grab that, put that in there. See how we can get on with hooking that up. And then we'll see how we can get on with hooking that up with this, hopefully. I mean, it's a bit of an eyesore down here, but it is what it is. And we'll want this to be elevated as well. And we're going to use the new networks tool and see if we can create this as a nice slope. So where we start? We'll start from here and finish there. If we did that, that's probably as good as a slope you're going to get, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's not too bad. That does the job there. Now we've just got to try and make this look normal, which is probably going to be the harder job out of the two that we've just done. So naturally we need a road for said train station. So we can just go straight ahead and do this. We could also use the same road for our depot here. If we just pull that out, we pull that out as well, we should just be able to hook that up into there, which is good. And then we need to, I think the best way to do it will be from maybe actually from here. Something like this. And something like this. Oh look, there's loads of people. Oh my gosh. Not sure if I like that. Maybe we'll have it go like that. I think that's probably the better bet, isn't it? Something like that. And then we'll once again get hold of our network tools and try and make that look nice. Which is probably about as smooth as a slope you're going to get here, if we're all being honest with each other. Interesting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth out all of this area and hopefully blend it in a little bit so it looks less ridiculous and hideous. Because at the minute it looks pretty hideous. I like the way I didn't plan for any of this, but it just kind of twigged in my mind, and now we're just kind of doing it. That's not bad at all, really, is it? Well, that's not really that bad at all. That'll be a good rail connection. We obviously need to decorate it, but I would say that's a pretty good rail connection. Would we want to flatten this out a bit? Just put a small car park here. Should we give it a go, see what happens? If we don't like it, we don't like it. But we could consider it. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to consider it. And we'll see how it looks. If it looks okay, then we'll keep it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not the end of the world. Well, that's not the one. Well, isn't that ugly? We'll make it work. Well, when I say parking, I probably meant park. We've decided to kind of change it a little bit and make it kind of a park sort of area up there instead of adding parking, which I think looks fine. I like the way that the different gradients sort of flow into each other. All looks pretty good to me. Yeah, it's so busy here. They must all just be like tourists. Where have you come from? Yeah, they're all tourists and they're all just idling. Fair enough. You do you. So next up, we need to fill in this space here. I do love the way that it's coming together though. Looks pretty fantastic. Still got 0 citizens, but that's not the point. I love it. Okay, let's have a look at our newest additions. It's definitely expanded quite a bit since we last had a little look. But let's dive into the details a little bit more. So, first of all, you'll probably notice down in this area it's far busier. There's a lot more going on, buildings wise and stuff like that. So let's have a little look at these first. So first thing first, we got a Mackie D's. Because if you've just come from a long old flight, what would you want? To go to your hotel, enjoy a nice bathe by the pool? No, you're a liar. You want a Big Mac. So that's why we've got a nice McDonald's just on this nice corner point here. Obviously, in the reality grand scheme of things, this is actually, there's going to be a little town here, as you can probably tell. So it wouldn't be unheard of for all the people from the town to just take a bimble up here and grab a drive-through. So that's one of the first things that we've added, a nice little Mackie D's, which looks awesome. Really like that. And then down here we've got another kind of shopping sort of place. So we've got Chipotle, whatever you want to say, AT&T, Cold Stone, and then Wild Wings at the end, which is cool, with its own sort of parking area down here, which is awesome. I love the way that those assets look. They are beautiful looking buildings. Then we've kind of branched that pavement out a little bit, and we've got this nice clock tower here. And the way that I kind of pretend maybe it shows the times of around the world, different time zones. It's only 4 of them, but you get the gist. You know, you come off a plane, loads of different time zones, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you get the idea. And then we've still got our bus terminal here, which we haven't set up just yet. Down in between these buildings, we've got a few of these alley sort of parks, just to kind of fill in a bit of the space here. And then we've got an auto zone. My thought process behind this auto zone, first of all, I needed to fill the space. I'm not going to lie. Second of all, I'm thinking you could also hire cars out of here. So like in lots of airports and places like this, you'd have like a hire car company. That's my kind of idea of what AutoZone is going to be, but it also repairs cars at the same time. So yeah, kind of makes sense. Those buildings look pretty cool. Still quite busy down here, isn't it? Pretty chaotic. And then up next to AutoZone, we've actually got a large police station. I think this is a southwestern pack, but it's a fantastic looking asset. I love the way that that looks. We've got the old bill going in and out already, which is great. And it kind of makes sense to have kind of a major police station next to the big airport. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Down this road we've got a petrol or gas station, depending on where in the world you are. Kind of perched on this corner here, which is pretty awesome. So you're driving down the highway and you get, oh, petrol. Yes, I need some of that. I need some gas. So you'll do exactly what this geezer's done. Drive straight in there, run over 2 people, and then fill up your car. So yeah, fantastic. And then just out the back here, we've got a very small road maintenance depot. Just because we need a bit of maintenance. So we've got a road maintenance depot. And a couple of little snack bars as well. Some, what's that, fish and chips, and then some Gluck's bagels, which is pretty cool. So that all looks pretty nice over here, I would say. That is a pretty solid kind of area that we've started off with, to be honest. And then over at the top, obviously, we've got our train station. We've got this nice pathway that kind of you come out from here, and then you can follow the pathway essentially all the way up, and then eventually you'll arrive at the train station, which isn't very busy at the minute because there's nobody using it, but still looks pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. And then the only other thing was this car parking. I thought I'd just add this in here. Again, another bit of space filler. But it fits the theme, I think. I think that looks pretty cool. And as a whole, this area looks pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a good start, I must say. Let's zoom out. I don't think that's going to be too terrible after all. So yeah, pretty good. What I might do is actually change this tree area to a bit of a beach. Although it won't really be used as a beach. You know, you've got to have seen clips online of people sat on the beach and the planes landing above their heads. That would be quite a cool idea. But it does look a little bit steep though at the same time, doesn't it? So, not sure. It could work, it could not. I don't know. I just don't know what to do with this embankment down here. So, yeah. Don't know. But as a whole, looks pretty good. I might actually set up some plane routes and just see what disaster happens when we try to do that. Okay, so we've set up some plane routes. We've used all 5 of our connections. We've renamed them Bahamas, London, Miami, New York and Paris. They are actual connections, as you can see. They do go to Paris, Bahamas, London, all those good stuff. So it does actually work. And let's just have a little look and see what happens here. So we've got our plane landing there. Where have you come from, sir? You've come from the Bahamas on your lovely regional jet. Now, there will be imperfections. Okay? It's a given. There will be imperfections. As you can see, it's not entirely perfect. However, that's just the sacrifices that we're going to have to make to allow this to be a nice looking airport. And it is what it is. Let's have a little look without the UI. Oh god, it's absolute carnage though, isn't it? Busiest small airport in the world. We've got another different plane that's just come in. And what's that one? That's got a different brand on the back. Who are you? Oh, you're a United Jet, which is quite cool. That one's going again, which is pretty awesome. I wonder if we're going to get any other variants of planes, but it's pretty cool to see, I must admit. I love the way that this is now active, even if they do take off vertically, which is quite impressive in itself. But let's wait for maybe 1 or 2 more planes to see if there's any. Oh, hello, Spirit. Welcome to the party. Oh, you're sending it round that corner. Call the cops. I'm actually surprised that I managed to get that white line directly down the middle there. That surprises me. That's pretty cool though. We've got a Spirit Airlines, so there is variation. Oh my goodness. Virgin Atlantic enters the building, and that's pretty cool, man. That's a big plane though. Jesus. Yeah, if you need the top of your trees trimming, this geezer's going to do it for you. Is it just going to park on top of it? Oh no, it does queue up. Okay. Yeah, so obviously this airport is not designed for planes of this size, but I think it's quite nice to have these, you know, just real life brands rocking around the Christmas tree. So we're going to keep it. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Yeah, fantastic. We could set up some outside train connections, but I feel like this is going to be this train station here. It's probably going to serve local rather than outside connections, so I might actually just not do that. If I'm being brutally honest, I might save that for another day when we've actually got other trains. But yeah, nevertheless, we've got a functioning airport. We've got planes that are using the airport. Have we had a better day in our life? I don't think so. I think we've smashed that. Really happy with that. Look at that. Isn't that a view? Well, everybody, welcome to Palm Island. Our brand new series. I hope you're just as excited for this as I am, because We started off with a bang, and we just got to keep it up. Doesn't it look great? And off we go. Virgin Atlantic takes flight. Let's have a safe journey, and don't take off vertically. Oh gosh. Tell you what, I'd be sick if I was on there. Anyway, oh, we got someone else coming in. Is that another private jet? Yeah, of course it is. Setting their precedents for how we mean to go on. And another jet coming in. God, it's awesome. I love this game. Sometimes. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I hope you look forward to joining me in the next episode of Palm Island. Good night.